Hello, ELA classes. So this is Ms. Cottrell here. This is going to be a makeup slash review video for Thursday, August 27th. The reason why I'm posting this video for you guys is because some people could not get into class using Teams, and other people had to go in and out, or maybe this is just going to be a review for you. So I'll try to keep this as short as possible because I really want you guys to listen to this. And I'm going to go over with you what we did in class today, what you need to do on your own, because our checkout today we did not get to in most of my classes, so you need to do that on your own time. And also just a review of everything that is due Friday at 6 p.m. So I'm going to show you the PowerPoint, which I will be posting along with this video for Thursday, August 27th. So we started with a check-in. For today, if you are not in class, I'm not going to have you make this up, but starting next week, if you are not in class, then you will have to make up the check-in, and I will provide you with an assignment for that because participation is 20% of your grade, and I want to make sure that you guys get that. That should be an easy 20% for you guys to really boost your grade. And then we had expectations, which we're going to review on Monday. I went through some of the resources with you. We're skipping our thing for now. And then I introduced the narrative unit that we will be doing for the first grading period of the year. If you are not in class, you need to read this entire slide so that you understand what we're going to be working towards. So we're going to have a personal narrative, but instead of it being about your childhood, it's going to be a story about what's been going on with you this summer, because this is a moment in history that is extremely significant to the United States and to the world. So we're going to listen to music, watch music videos, look at art, read personal narratives, watch films. We're going to look at so many examples of how do you tell a story, because we're going to apply that to our narratives. So we actually started today with basically a short film, which is about Superman and Me, The Joy of Reading. So we did a prediction, and that's for participation as well. And then I introduced to you guys what a reservation is. So I'm going to go over that right now. If you were in class, then you can skip forward a little bit because you already know what a reservation is. But a reservation is basically an area of land that the government has set aside for Native American tribes to live in and really just have their own culture. So we talked a little bit about the history of why do reservations exist. And so I want to explain that a little bit. Basically, when settlers first arrived at America in the United States, there were already people living here. Those people are Native Americans. They're called Native because they were native to America. And there were a lot of fights going on. You've probably heard about a lot of these battles. But the Native Americans who survived, they were actually sent away to reservations. So that means that the land that they were currently living in, the land that they've always known, was taken from them, and they were forced to walk to a place called a reservation, which is where they were forced to live. And in a lot of these reservations, they would say you have to stay here, but in other cases, they would take children from the Native American communities and try to assimilate them to their culture. And that means that they have this long, beautiful hair that was chopped off. These boys had to chop off their hair and they were sent to normal school. But if you weren't taken away from your community, then you were living in the reservation. And in the reservation, a lot of it became like there was a lot of poverty. And that is because everything that they relied on, they had to come up with new systems of having an economy, of relying on agriculture, because they're in a completely new place. So there were a lot of problems with reservations. Those problems are still affecting our Native American communities today, just like any minority group is still facing issues today. Even though the situation is better, it's never going to go away. That history is important, and we need to talk about it. I have this picture of a dam and the salmon because the government built a dam at the Spokane Reservation in Washington, where Sherman and Alexie grew up. And this dam cut off the supply of salmon into the reservation. They really relied on the salmon because the salmon were for food and also were an important part of their culture. So they had a lot of ceremonies involving salmon, and of course they used the salmon as food. So when they built the dam, they couldn't have any of their ceremonies, they couldn't use the salmon for food. That's just one example of the way things have been taken from these communities, and it's very poorly affected them. Just in case you were wondering, the Spokane tribe actually sued the government, and they have recently won that lawsuit, and they are receiving compensation for their losses. So, just in case you're wondering, that's a little update on that, and that happened like last year or a few years ago, I believe. It happened pretty recently. So remember, Sherman Alexie, our author, he grew up in that reservation that we're talking about, the Spokane Indian Reservation in Washington. So the word powwow is going to be important because it is referenced in this narrative. A powwow is a Native American ceremony involving feasting, singing, and dancing. We talked about how you can actually attend these powwows, and some students actually have attended these powwows. You can see these people on the side who are looking and watching. They invite people to come watch because you may not be familiar with their culture, and they want to share that with you. Then there's two vocab words that are really important, prodigy and Solon. So make sure you understand what these mean before you watch the video that will read the story to you. So prodigy, you may be a prodigy of whatever your major is. If you've been doing it forever, you're really talented at it. Solon is gloomy, mean, disagreeable. So now we're going to get into the assignment. So this is a part that you actually have to do on your own. So you're going to watch this video. We were going to watch it in class, but unfortunately I could not figure out how to make the video play during class on Teams. So make sure you watch this on your own. As you can see, it's only 4 minutes, and it is actually like a short film because there are images involved, but it's reading you the story. So if you just watch this video, you don't have to actually read the story because it reads it to you. So make sure you watch that video because your checkout for today is to answer one question. And that question is your learning target question. Why is reading so important to Alexie? So answer that in 1, 2, 3 sentences, however long it takes you. And just answer it how you would normally answer it in class because I want to see where your writing is and how we can improve. These are just some questions to think about while you're reading. You don't actually have to answer them. But I've also, just so you know, linked the text here in case you are a visual learner like me and you actually want to read through the story so you can make sure that you're providing us with a really good answer. Okay, we're at the end. So this is the review of everything that's due, so make sure you have completed this work. It is all on Google Classroom except for what I'm posting in the stream today, which is the makeup for the Thursday meeting. So make sure you get all this work done by Friday at 6 p.m. I'm going to point out a few things to you here. For the reading questionnaire, if you hit submit, you're good. I can see it. But it may not be marked as done, so you can go into Google Classroom, go to the reading questionnaire assignment, and mark as done. So it will show that you turned it in, but you don't have to do that because I can see that you submitted it. And most of you are already finished with that. Make sure that you've done the contact form from Tuesday meeting. If you did not do the contact form from Tuesday's meeting, you're gonna have to scroll back down in the stream and make sure you complete that. And then the checkout today, which is the learning target question and self-reflection, which I'm posting along with this video. And make sure you do your journal entry. Just to clarify, because I've had a lot of questions on the journal entry. You are only completing one slide. That is slide 2. Slide 2 is the only thing that you are going to fill out. The rest of it is for the whole rest of the unit, the whole rest of the year, so don't worry about it. All you're doing is slide 2. All the directions are on Google Classroom. They're also in this video. They're also in the PowerPoint from Tuesday and the one from Thursday. So make sure you get that done. If you still have questions after you read all the directions, please email me. And finally, we are at the end with the checkout for Thursday. So make sure that you complete this checkout. This is what it looks like. This is your question. Why is reading so important to Sherman and Lexi? You should be signed in to your Google email account so I can see that it is you. The rest of it is just a quick self-reflection. How did you feel this week? Rate your effort, one goal for next week. This is an optional question. Any notes for me, anything that you need me to know, I will read through these and give you any feedback that you need to know. All right, that is it. Again, I will be posting everything that you need along with this video, but if there's something that I forgot or something you still need help with, visit me tomorrow in my office hours from 9 to 11 or 1 to 1:30, or go ahead and send me an email and I can help you there. Thank you guys so much for watching this whole video. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and if I don't hear from you until Monday, then have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday.